There's a moment we all face at some point, a moment where everything feels off. You're not exactly unhappy, but you're not fulfilled either. You're moving through the motions, checking boxes, doing what's expected, but deep down, something's missing. It's like standing still in the middle of a storm you can't see. If that feels familiar, you're not alone. Feeling lost is one of the most common yet least talked about human experiences. It doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. It shows up as boredom, frustration, restlessness. It's a signal. It's your mind and heart quietly letting you know that growth is calling, that something needs to shift, that your current path may no longer be aligned with who you are becoming. You look at your life and wonder, is this really it? When you feel lost, it means you're awake. You're paying attention. You're looking for something deeper. Is this all there is? What life offers is possibility, and possibility begins with curiosity. It's a sign that your life is asking questions your current habits, routines, and mindset can't yet answer. One honest step towards something that feels more like you. Maybe it means taking a break, creating space, letting go of the pressure to have it all figured out. This moment is not a detour, it's a pivot point. Let's get something straight from the start. Feeling lost is not a failure, but waiting for clarity often creates more confusion. Action is what creates clarity. Doing something, anything, gives you feedback, it gives you data, it tells you what feels right and what doesn't. You have to act your way into one. That stuck with me, because when I felt lost, I kept trying to solve it in my head. Reading. Some feel like nothing is happening at all, but all of them matter. They build on each other. Even if it's slow, even if it's unsure, the chapter you're in right now might feel unclear, but that doesn't mean the story is over. But if you take a step, you see a little more, then another step, more becomes visible. Eventually, the path reveals itself, but only because you kept moving. It means the next chapter is being written. And believe it or not, that's good news, because awareness is the first step to direction. So the question becomes, what do you do with that feeling? Let's unpack it together. Not why haven't I figured it out yet, but what am I curious about that I haven't explored? The first thing to understand is that feeling lost is not a sign that you're broken, a roadmap, a checklist to get back on track. But real clarity doesn't come from outside, it comes from listening inward. Think of life like a book. Every chapter feels different. Some are fast-paced, some are heavy. So how do you move forward when you don't know which way to go? The first shift is from control to clarity. Most of us want quick fixes. Start by asking better questions. Not what should I be doing with my life, but what makes me feel alive. The mind seeks certainty, but life doesn't offer it. Here's something powerful. You don't have to know your entire path. You just need to find your next step. That's it. Maybe that means learning a new skill. Maybe it means reconnecting with someone who inspires you. Because the truth is, no one really does. The people who seem the most put together, they're figuring it out too. Success isn't about certainty. It's about movement, forward motion. And that's the second shift. From perfection to progress. When you feel lost, the temptation is to wait until everything's clear before you act. Think of it like walking through fog. Standing still doesn't make the fog disappear. I once heard someone say, you can't think your way into a new life. It didn't. What helped was trying things. Little things. I signed up for a class I wasn't sure I'd like. I reached out to people doing work that intrigued me. I changed my environment. Not dramatically, just enough to feel different, to feel awake again. And slowly, the fog started to lift. We compare ourselves to others who seem like they have it all figured out. That comparison creates shame. And shame makes us hide. But healing doesn't happen in isolation. It happens in connection. It's a rite of passage, a turning point. And often, the people who find that deepest sense of purpose are the ones who once felt the most directionless. Here's the third shift. From isolation to connection. Not just about what you're doing, but about how you're feeling. But the most meaningful change comes when we shift the focus from what do I want to achieve to who do I want to become. Let the walls come down. Share your uncertainty. You'd be amazed how many people say, me too. When we feel lost, we tend to pull away. We retreat. Talk to someone. Because again, feeling lost is universal. It's not a weakness. To explore, to try, to fall, to rise. Instead of asking, what's the right path? Ask, what kind of life would make me proud, regardless of where it leads? That brings us to the fourth shift. From outcome to identity. Not because someone handed you a map, but because you built one with each step. You stop trying to impress others and start trying to express yourself. You make choices that reflect your values, not just your goals. Maybe you write down the questions that have been circling in your mind. Maybe you call someone and tell them the truth about how you've been feeling. A lot of the pressure we feel comes from chasing results. The job, the income, the recognition, that you're allowed to be in between chapters. That being lost isn't the opposite of being found. It's part of the same journey. When you lead with identity, your decisions become more aligned. So instead of asking, what's the perfect career? Ask, what kind of person do I want to be at work? Those questions don't always lead to immediate answers, but they do guide you toward integrity. And integrity feels like peace. If you're still with me, I want you to hear this part clearly. That feeling lost was the very thing that brought you home to yourself. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are becoming. Becoming is messy. It's full of uncertainty and doubt. But it's also where the most beautiful growth happens. You're not meant to have all the answers right now. You're meant to live the question, to stay curious, and through all of it, to remember that being lost is often the beginning of being found. Sometimes the most important journeys start with confusion. They start with asking why you feel stuck, why your heart feels heavy, why your days feel hollow. That questioning is not weakness, it's wisdom. And if you keep following it gently, honestly, you will find yourself in places you never expected. So what now? Now you take one step. Maybe you put your phone down and sit in silence for a few minutes. Or maybe you just decide that it's okay to not know right now. You are not broken. You are unfolding. And what you're going through right now is not the end of your story. It's the start of something new. So stay open, stay present, stay kind to yourself, because one day, not long from now, you'll look back at this moment and realize it mattered more than you thought. And that's a kind of success no one can take away.